So today I'm filming a really exciting video. This video is going to be a freshman advice Q&A sort of type of video. I didn't really know how I wanted to format this video, so basically I just asked you guys on an Instagram post to ask me questions about my freshman year or just things that you wanted me to go over. If you don't follow me on Instagram, it's Fiercely Tasha. I'm going to put my little link right here. But I do post a lot of things when I'm asking you guys for video ideas, and I also post a lot about my real personal life. So if you want to see me outside of my channel, that's a great place to see me. So yeah, pretty much I just asked you guys to leave some comments, tell me what you guys want to know. Before I get into this video though, I want to address what's behind me. So I actually had a viewer comment on one of my previous videos because I was talking about how my backgrounds in my dorm room are not cute at all, and she was like, hey, like you should really get like a tapestry or something to hang behind you. And I did. I got this really cool like ocean one. I know it's kind of wrinkly, but I was way too lazy to like steam it out before this video, so don't mind that. But basically I got it from Society6, which is a super cool website. They have real artists design like everything, and you can get them in like a phone case, you can get them in tapestries like this, you can get like prints. It's super cool. So I knew I wanted like an ocean one for next year for my room or something, so I searched like wave, and then I found this one. So I'm gonna link this one in the comments, but if you like it, this one's massive. You can get them in different sizes. This is the biggest one, but it's super cool. I wish it wasn't wrinkly right now, but it's really cool. So thank you to whoever suggested me getting a tapestry. By the way, I'm not wearing eyeliner today, so if I look different, that's why. I always wear eyeliner in videos, so I probably look weird, but yeah, no eyeliner today. Okay, so just some background information on me. If you're new to my channel, I am a freshman at Loyola Marymount University. LMU is in Los Angeles, California, and I'm from Syracuse, New York, so it was a big move for me. I am by no means being like, oh, I'm the master of freshman year, like I know everything. Like, no, I'm still in my freshman year. I have like 3 weeks to go. I'm still learning, trust me. But I know before I came to college, I watched so many of these videos, and it's really helpful to see them from everyone because everyone is different. Everyone has a different college experience and does different things in college. So I figured a lot of you guys would be helped by me. Anyways, I'm gonna be going over a lot of broad topics today. So if you guys want me to go If you guys want me to go more into depth in a certain topic, let me know in the comments down below. If you see one you agree with, just give it a thumbs up, because I want to do a lot of college videos, and if you guys want me to go deeper into a topic, I am totally willing to do a whole video on just that topic. Okay, the first thing I'm going to talk about is the adjustment. I think that is one of the main things everyone wonders about, is like the main adjustment. How is it being away from home? So for me, like I said, I did go very far, and I'm not able to go home a lot at all. I've only been home once. It was for Christmas break, and then for my spring break I went to Florida with my parents, so I've seen my parents twice, but I've only physically been home once. For me, this works out fine. I've always been a very independent person, and I'm able to do things on my own. I don't need my parents, but I have a lot of like best friends here that like really talk to their parents like every day. I'm not saying that I don't love my parents and like to talk to them, but I'm not reliant on them, and I don't need to see them all the time. But a lot of my friends here do live close to home, and they go home a lot and see their parents a lot. So if you're the type of person who thinks you might want to go home a lot, I don't recommend going somewhere far. However, for me, coming to LA was the best decision I ever have made in my entire life. I love it so much, and I feel like I belong here. However, it's important to keep in mind that everyone is adjusting, and it's gonna be difficult for everyone. Even though I say, oh, I was fine, like, yeah, it's still hard once in a while. You know, you want to go home, you want to lay in your own bed. I think the important part with adjusting is keeping yourself busy. As long as you're doing stuff all the time, you don't really have time to think about being home or like missing home because you're always busy. Yeah, but everyone is different with adjustments. I do think it has to do a lot with how far you are from home and how okay you are with that. But I'd say for the most part, just put yourself out there, try and keep busy, and you should be fine. The next topic I want to talk about goes along with the first one. It's making friends. I think one of the easiest ways to adjust is if you make lots of good friends. And this is hard, you know. I was very nervous about this because I do make friends very easily, but I don't make super close friends very easily. I've been so lucky to meet amazing people here and meet great friends, but I know that's not the case for everyone. The only really strong advice I have for this is put yourself out there. I think one of the most important things with your freshman year is putting yourself out there and meeting people, and like not just staying in your room, because you're not gonna meet anyone that way. I was very shy in high school, and I think if you asked my friends in college to list like top 5 traits about me, no one would say shy. I've definitely stepped out of my comfort zone in college because I had to. I don't know anyone in LA, you know, like I had to do it or else I would be like a loner in my room. So if you see someone in class that you think you might want to be friends with, like strike up a conversation. If you're not friends, if you don't click, it's not a big deal, but that's important. But yeah, it's really important just to put yourself out there and talk to people, because in the beginning of freshman year, everyone's doing that anyway, so you don't look weird if you just start talking to someone. I do know people that go to college with their friends from high school, and I also think that if this applies to you and you are going to college with one of your friends from high school, make sure you do not cling to that. Or if you only hang out with a person from high school, you don't meet anyone else. So while I think it's totally fine to hang out with people that you already know at your school, it's also so important to like branch out and meet others. Okay, the next topic I want to talk about is boys or dating. I talked about this in another one of my college videos. I made one like update probably in like my first semester, so it was a while back. I know not everyone likes guys, or you guys watching might be a guy, so this probably won't apply to everyone. But I'm just going to talk about the hookup culture that is in college. So I know you all have probably heard about the hookup culture and you probably know what it is and whatnot, but if you don't, it's basically like in college there's not dating and you just like hook up with people with no strings attached kind of thing. Like it doesn't mean anything. So this is very prevalent. This is not like a joke. This is probably what I would say like 80% of people do. And maybe that's just what I think. I could be totally wrong. But for the most part, going into your freshman year, do not assume that you're going to meet the love of your life immediately and have a boyfriend. This is definitely not the case, because I do have a very good friend that did meet her boyfriend and they're dating now, freshman year. But the majority of boys, especially freshman boys, are not going to want to date. Also, I can vouch that the majority of upperclassmen boys are also not going to want to date. Luckily for me, I did not want a relationship going to college. I don't really want a relationship now. So if you're someone who is the relationship type, or you do like one guy and you like to be exclusive, it's just important to know that that might not happen for you in your freshman year. My piece of advice for you is, if you go into your freshman year and you're like hooking up with a guy or like talking to a guy or whatever, do not get too invested, because there is a strong possibility that he does not want to date. I think the best bet is to voice your opinion and ask him before you're going into it what he wants from this like relationship, because that way you know and there's no confusion down the line. So yeah, that's just something to keep in mind. Relationships in college are weird. You know, I'm doing my own thing, like I don't need no man. But you know, I mean, if like Brody Jenner comes along, like, I'm also so sweaty. I closed the window and I don't know why I'm wearing a beanie right now. Like, my hair was like not cute and I'm wearing a shirt and I kind of want to take this off because I'm really sweaty, but like it kind of ruins the vibe. The next topic I'm going to address are parties. I know not everyone is into partying or going out or even drinking or whatever people do. I'm not going to talk about what I do at parties. I'm not going to judge anyone for what they do at parties, but I just want to say that parties are super fun and I go to parties, like it's so fun, but you have to be careful. Especially in your freshman year of college, depending on if you go to a big school or a small school, honestly it doesn't even matter. You're probably not going to know the majority of the people at the parties. You're not going to know if this guy who's like talking to you is completely harmless or he's super creepy, like you just don't know. Always go to parties in groups and watch out for the people in your group. Don't let your friends leave with some random girl or guy that you don't know and they don't know unless you figure out that the situation is okay. I'm all for going to parties, I'm all for having fun at parties, but you need to look out for your friends and yourself. That being said, yes, parties are a big side of college, but if you're not into parties, you don't have to go out. Or if you're not into drinking or smoking or whatever people do at parties, you can go to the parties and not do either. Honestly, no one's even gonna know because most of the people are too drunk to notice anyway. Going along with parties is Greek life. I don't know why I sandwiched these together, that's kind of like the stereotype, but it's kind of true. LMU does have Greek life, it's just not super huge. So personally, I did not rush this year, but I'm planning on rushing next year for sure. So Greek life is definitely not for everyone, but I think it's a really great way to meet people. And every sorority and every fraternity has like, its like group of people, and I know you can find one that you identify with. I think it's a super fun way to just meet people and go to events and do things for a good cause, well, like having a school spirit. I don't know, I think it's just a really cool opportunity. Okay, so the last topic that I want to cover today is grades and schoolwork. So I know you kind of tend to forget about this when you're talking about college, or maybe that's just me, but you know, I wasn't really worried about grades and schoolwork because I was always a pretty good student in high school. I didn't really struggle with anything. I'm one of those people who didn't really have to study and I would just get good grades. College is very different in terms of schoolwork. It's weird because in high school I'd get like a little schoolwork like every day, but in college you get a huge assignment and you have like a month to do it. So clearly the best thing to do is to start it ahead of time and work your way through it, but you're gonna find that this is very hard, especially your freshman year, because you're trying to like have fun and put yourself out there and meet new people, and then all of a sudden it's the day before your papers due. And I know in high school my papers were like 2 pages, but a lot of times in college they're like 10 pages. So yeah, as far as schoolwork goes, they're a lot bigger assignments and they're due way ahead of time, but pretty much everyone always leaves them for the last minute, and it's not the smart thing to do. Something else that was a stereotype that I heard about college, going into college, that I could totally vouch for is that professors are not going to be on your butt about your work. If you don't turn in an assignment, like no one's going to ask you for it, you're just going to get a 0. And a lot of the professors do not put the grades online, so you don't really know what your grade is. I think you could maybe ask them, I never have, but it's just important to keep track of your assignments and keep track of your grades so you know where you stand. College is about being more independent, so this does make sense. But if you're someone who is not very organized and does not really keep track of your work, then just know that going into college, you're gonna have to be able to keep track of everything and check the syllabus, see what's due. Like no one's gonna tell you, oh, don't forget this is due tomorrow. Like, no, it doesn't happen like that. For the most part, I have had good grades in college, but definitely keep in mind that if you were an A student in high school, you will not necessarily be an A student in college. I got all A's in high school, and I still have a lot of A's now, but it's very hard to pull yourself up from a B. Like, I have a few B's, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, don't just assume that if you were smart in high school, you're gonna be smart in college. It's a lot different. In college, it's more of like deep thinking, whereas high school, it's like, hey, memorize SOHCAHTOA. So I think that's all I'm gonna cover for this video. I really didn't want it to be too long because people would probably get bored. But like I said, if you have any more questions about college, totally leave them down below. You can comment on any of my Instagram photos, like telling me what you want to see. And like I mentioned previously, if you want a whole video dedicated to a specific topic or a video dedicated to related topics, please let me know in the comments. And if you're scrolling down and you see one you agree with, just give it a thumbs up because I like to look at the ones with the most thumbs up. I really hope this video was helpful. Like I said, I have not mastered college by any means, but I think I've had a lot of experience just hearing other people's stories and comparing them to mine. If you want to follow me on social media, and if you want to get a matching tapestry or even look at them, because tapestries are huge in college. They make any dorm room look so much better. Like if you just hang them on a blank wall, so cute. So yeah, I'm going to put this in the description as well as my social media links. I'll put them here too. Yeah, follow me. Shameless promo. I almost couldn't say that. Ooh, also let me know where you're going to college. If you guys are going to college or you're already in college, let me know. I promise I won't creepishly stalk you or anything, but like, I think that's kind of cool. I love you guys so much. Thanks for watching. I hope I don't have pit stains. I'm really sweaty. Bye!